Hello, boys and girls. How are you? Are you having a nice day? Well, it's Mr. Bruston here. I am having a great day. And anytime that I get to teach science, I'm having a great day. I hope that you feel the same way. Let's think a little bit about last lesson. What was that fossil fuel that we really investigated? Do you remember that we answered a lot of questions? We read an article about it. What was it? That's right, gasoline, right? Which comes from the crude oil. It is a fossil fuel, and we really talked about gasoline because it is one of those fuels that it is used widely, that it is used a lot in our country and all over the world, okay? Before I continue, let's go over our learning target, which is the same as last lesson because this lesson is divided into 3 parts. So we are going to continue with the same learning target, okay? So let's look at that. Okay, so our learning target, which is what we want to know by the end of the lesson or by the end of the lessons, is we can formulate questions, collect and record data, read articles, and watch videos to explain what natural resources are more environmentally friendly. So we want to figure out which natural resources, which fuels are more environmentally friendly, which resources are more healthy, right? More healthy for our planet. And remember, we talked about that the only planet that can support life that we know right now is Earth. So we want to make sure that we find what is the best for our planet, right? And last time we talked about the things that animals, including humans, need to live, right? Remember? Water, food, shelter, air, and some space. Remember that, right? It's important that we keep remembering that because we are going to make a point at the end of these lessons about those things that animals need to live, and humans. However, animals don't build cities. Animals don't have the advancements that we have as humans. So we talked about all the things that we use fuel for, and are those things that we need or things that we want, right? We got to start thinking about that. Are those needs to survive or are just things that make our life easier? So before we get deeper into the lesson, I'd like you to click on a link for a YouTube video, okay? It's called New York City in Motion, okay? That's the title of that link, New York City or NYC in Motion. I want you to watch that video thinking about all the things that are going on in the video and how are those things fueled? How are those things powered? How are we able to do all of those things in a city? How are we able to turn the lights on? How are we able to have so many cars? So think about those things, okay? As you watch the video, think about how do we get all those different machines in a city moving. So click on the video for YouTube and pause our lesson, okay? Pretty impressive, huh? New York City, like any other city, but especially New York City, it's always moving. There is always something moving there, right? And we need fuel for all those things. So today you're going to have to work hard, okay? You're going to have to explore a lot. And not just about gasoline, but we really need to figure out today what are the main fossil fuels, which are natural resources because they are found in nature. But what are the main fossil fuels that we use in our country and all over the world? We need to figure out what are the main fossil fuels that we use, humans use. So I am going to need you to open a document titled Understanding Fossil Fuels. You see it right there? Understanding Fossil Fuels. It is a long document. It has about 6 pages, okay? But don't get scared. You won't have to read the whole thing. That document is going to give you a lot of information about what are the main fossil fuels, which are natural resources, that we as humans use on planet Earth, okay? So open that document and listen carefully, okay? Because you're gonna have to be using two documents at the same time. So open that document, that is the article that you're going to be getting your information from, okay? And then you are going to open a graphic organizer to be able to organize the information that you get from the document into an organized form, okay? So the title of the other document is, let me show you, Types of Fossil Fuels, okay? Types of fossil fuels. It looks like this, okay? It has 3 columns. One says fossil fuel. The other one says description. And the other one says main uses. So you have the article open and you have that graphic organizer open. And we're gonna do the first part, the first row, we're gonna do it together, okay? That way you can do the other two by yourself. Because I want you to really, really learn from this article and really get that information organized here on the graphic organizer and also in your brain, okay? So I found in the article that the first type of fossil fuel is petroleum or crude oil. So that's what I wrote on the first column, right? Petroleum or crude oil. Now I need to figure out what is petroleum or crude oil. So I'm going to go back to the article and I'm going to find out what I can write here. What is the description of what petroleum or crude oil is? So I went back to the article and I found out that petroleum is a yellow-black liquid found in geographic formations under the Earth's crust. And the petroleum forms when prehistoric organisms, namely zooplankton and algae species, are trapped under the Earth's surface and chemically changed to or for intense pressure and heat, okay? So that's what I wrote there because that's the description of what petroleum is. Now I need to find out what are the main uses. So I have to go back to the article and figure out what are the main uses of petroleum. And for that one, I'm going to have to read a little bit more because a lot of things are made from petroleum, okay? So I found out that people mainly use petroleum for powering automobiles, airplanes, and certain types of heating sources. So that's what I wrote for the main uses of petroleum, okay? Now your job is to do the other two rows. You need to find what is the second type of fossil fuel that is commonly used on our planet by humans, the description of it, and what are the main uses. So now it is time for you to get to work on your own. So how do you do? Do you fill the chart completely? How long did it take you? Oh, it didn't take you that long. But anyways, the second type of fossil fuel that is widely used on our planet is natural gas. And I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to be just writing what I say. I need you to get it from the article, okay? And then the third type is coal. C-O-A-L, okay? So do you write the description for it, for each one of those, and what they're mainly used for? Make sure that you have those filled out completely, okay? Now, do you see the question at the end of the chart, of the graphic organizer? Do you see it? It says, what are the drawbacks or disadvantages of fossil fuels? Okay? So we're talking about the crude oil, the natural gas, and what was the other one? And coal. What are the drawbacks? What are the disadvantages? Because remember, the learning target is that we want to figure out which natural resources are more environmentally friendly. So first of all, we want to decide if these fossil fuels are friendly to our planet or not, okay? So figure out now in the article, there is information that says drawbacks of using these fossil fuels, okay? So we're trying to figure out if these ones are friendly for our environment or not, for our planet or not. So go ahead and answer that question. And I want you to write as much as possible, okay? So what are the drawbacks, disadvantages of fossil fuels? So pause the lesson and go back to the article and start writing what are the disadvantages of fossil fuels, of those 3 fossil fuels that you wrote in the graphic organizer. All right, so I hope that you wrote a lot, and according to the article, you must have realized that there are a few problems with these fossil fuels, right? Well, first of all, they release some gases to the atmosphere, okay, that are not good for our planet. And I don't want to tell you that much about it because there is going to be another lesson that is going to be specifically about those gases, right? And also, another disadvantage is that they are natural resources and they are, remember, non-renewable. You remember that word? Remember, non-renewable? So once we use them up, we're going to have to wait another few million years to have some more. So that's another drawback. So they are not extremely clean and friendly for our planet, and also they are non-renewable. So once we're going to use them up eventually, and then what are we left with? So going back to the learning target that we're trying to figure out what natural resources are more environmentally friendly, more healthy for our planet. I guess those 3 are not that healthy, huh? But what do? Do we give up planes and trains and cars? I mean, we're so used to them and they really make life easier. So what do? I mean, are there maybe other natural resources that are more friendly to our planet? So I want you to do something now. Before we finish today's lesson, I want you to do something. I want you to answer this question. Okay? And I want you to really think about it. So we found out that fossil fuels are not environmentally friendly. They're not good for our planet. And there is a limited supply, which means that at some point they will end. So what should we do? What should we do? So now in your notebooks, go ahead and write, what should we do? What would be the solution? What do you think? If those are not so friendly for our planet, but we use them a lot, what should we do? So write a few ideas there, okay? Write a few ideas and think about it deeply and write, and then let's come back together. So what should we do? Well, I don't have an answer. If I had the answer, I'd probably be a millionaire. I don't have an answer. And I hope that you wrote a lot of ideas there. So we're going to leave the lesson here. And maybe we will be able to find a few solutions next lesson. Okay? So until next time, think about it. What can we do? What should we do with these fossil fuels that are not friendly, but that we are using them so much? Maybe you can ask your parents. You can ask your grandparents or your friends. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Have a great day.